So after my interview with Michelle, the counseling notes that I took stated her name, her details, phone number and whatnot, referral information, which we didn't have any. She came on her own. This was session 1, and then I wrote the date. The background information that she provided was that Michelle was a wife, a mother, an assistant accountant, and she was really busy. She wanted to complete her CPA course, but didn't have the time to do so. The presenting issues were lack of time. Her goals were to finish the course and to find more time to do so. The topics discussed and the outcomes were that possibly her husband could help provide her some more time by helping around the house a little bit more, but then she decided that he wouldn't be able to reduce his hours and he already worked long enough. She could reduce her hours at work, but then she decided that she didn't think that work would agree with that. She could quit her job, but that wasn't viable either. Or she could hire someone to help run her kids around after school a couple days a week, and that would provide her some more time to complete her course. And that was the decision that she chose. The intervention was to use ads in the newspaper or ask around some of the other mothers that she knows. At her next session, we'll focus on some time management skills, once she has that time, how to use it effectively, and how to better communicate with her husband as he works long hours. And then I got her to sign it. As for the counseling plan, the client details, I wrote her name. Involvement of other agencies and referral information, I wrote that there was none. Special needs, there was none. Safety and reporting issues, there was none. Recording of clients' own identified priorities, I wrote that she had a lack of time to complete her CPA. That was her main priority. My observed client requirements, so making that time, focusing on some time management techniques, and future communicating with her husband better. So those goals are to hire a nanny or a helper to provide more time. And again, future time management techniques and communicating with husband. And the monitoring, which will include a feedback form in session 3, which I discussed with the client. Some of the things that I think I did well is I think I was listening really well to the client, making appropriate eye contact, focusing, that kind of stuff. Some of the things that I don't think I did very well is I noticed upon watching the videos that I was crossing my legs to start, which is kind of a closed off reaction, although I was mirroring the client, so maybe that's a bit not so bad. I was kind of using my hands a bit too much, which could be distracting for a client. I did not structure the time. I forgot to tell the client that we had 15 minutes to discuss her situation today. I also asked a few double-barreled questions where I would ask 2 at once, which could be confusing to someone. I think what I could do differently is also maybe ask a bit more, do some more paraphrasing and exploring questions. That would be appropriate. I also said the word problem. What's discussing your problem? That might not be the best, most effective word to use in counseling. And I asked some close-ended questions, and luckily this client divulged more than what I asked, but if it was a more closed-off client, they might have just answered them with a yes or a no, and then that would have left me having to ask those more open-ended questions. So I think those are kind of the areas that I need to develop a bit more, and that will just be done through practice and my own conscious knowing that I do those. So maybe planning to ask more open-ended questions, try not to use the word why because that can be a bit confronting. Maybe I could aim to ask almost all the questions open-ended to start, just so I get a better feeling for that, as that's something that I'm kind of limited in, and also maybe some more paraphrasing and exploring just to dive a little bit deeper into the client, just to get to know them a little bit better. I think that might be it. And also our session was not the required 20 minutes. It was a bit shorter than that, so maybe lengthening it out using those techniques, exploring a bit more, would have been a bit more helpful too.